kidding me?
So this year, the Resident Evil 3 remake came out, and despite the mixed reception towards it from critics and fans, it's good to have a new Resident Evil game to play. So I got into the Resident Evil franchise way younger than I should have, to be honest, and I've been a huge fan ever since. It's probably one of my favourite franchises, if not my most favourite gaming franchise. So now I've finished the Resident Evil 3 remake, what is there now to play? Well, thankfully there are many games out there like the Resident Evil games in one way or another. And if you're a fan of the Resident Evil franchise, then these following games might crave that itch until a new Resident Evil game comes out. First off is Silent Hill, a gaming series that's almost as big and as old as Resident Evil itself, and has some of the best survival horror games, period. The first 3 Silent Hill games are must-play classics, possibly Silent Hill 4 as well, but I have not played that one and so cannot really comment, but I have heard it's quite different to the others. Gameplay-wise, Silent Hill is very similar to classic Resident Evil. You explore non-linear environments, solve puzzles, and fight monsters. However, compared to Resident Evil, Silent Hill is a lot more psychological and has a different style of horror. Its story is very character-focused and oozes with emotion, artistic design, and symbolism. Whilst Resident Evil is a rollercoaster for your heart, Silent Hill is a rollercoaster for your mind. This franchise is thought of as a sister series to Resident Evil, having also been made by Capcom and directed by the creator of RE, Shinji Mikami. As is often stated, Dino Crisis is like Resident Evil but with dinosaurs instead of zombies. One difference though is that it is a lot harder, and I've just finished replaying the game myself to confirm that. Dinosaurs are no joke compared to zombies. In fact, I found the other aspects of the game quite difficult as well, such as the game design and the puzzles. A lot of the gameplay features will feel familiar if you've played Resident Evil before. Interestingly, at least to me, Dino Crisis has branching paths with moments in the game where you have to choose between 2 decisions, similar to the decision choices in Resident Evil 3, which was released around the same time as Dino Crisis. In fact, if you played Resident Evil 3, then you may have seen Regina's costume as an unlockable outfit. The sequel, Dino Crisis 2, took the series more into its own thing, and we don't speak of the 3rd game. Parasite Eve is a game I have only played very recently for the first time, thanks to a video I watched by the Sphere Hunter, and I very much enjoyed it. This game is part survival horror, part RPG, and in her words, is like a Resident Evil game mixed with a Final Fantasy game. If you liked the awesome monster design of RE, then you'll be more than happy with the creatures you face in this game. Also, the main character, Aya Brea, comes across as a very realistic heroine, kind of like Jill Valentine in a way. There's also a lot of inventory management, at least from my experience with the game. The sequel, Parasite Eve 2, is even more like an RE game, and feels heavily influenced by the franchise, and again, those monster designs.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. When the blazing sun is gone, when the nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night.
So we've covered a lot of games that are like the classic Resident Evil games, but how about the much loved Resident Evil 4? Well, for you RE4 fans, there is the Dead Space franchise. Some people say this game is RE4 in space, however I feel that doesn't do the game justice. The enemies of this game, the Necromorphs, have some of the freakiest designs I've seen in any game. They also have a unique approach to dealing with them. Dead Space encourages players to dismember the enemies, cutting off their limbs to kill them quickly. Add in a few other cool features such as zero gravity and kinesis, and you'll find a lot of strategic ways to deal with all the threats in this game. The gameplay is very RE4, with an over-the-shoulder camera, a currency and shop system, and the ability to upgrade weapons. Each chapter is filled with intense encounters, a few puzzles and item quests, and some of the best atmosphere I've ever seen in a horror game. The later sequels of Dead Space became a lot more action orientated rather than survival horror, and like RE5 and 6, eventually co-op was added.
Though I know not what you are, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Here is another game made by the original director of RE, Shinji Mikami, after he formed a new game studio called Tango Gameworks. The Evil Within sees you play Detective Sebastian Castellanos, as he finds himself trapped in a nightmare world. As it's made by the same guy who directed RE1 and RE4, you'll find a lot of throwbacks to those games. Some subtle, some less subtle.
Connolly?
Certain enemies, environments, and moments will feel like they have been directly ripped out of the Resident Evil games. It feels like sometimes this was the successor to RE4 that Mikami wanted. The gameplay is again over the shoulder and has similar features to RE4 and Dead Space. The game does some things differently though, such as utilise a stealth system. Also, the Evil Within is very challenging, and anyone who can complete Akuma mode has my admiration. A sequel came out a few years later, which played largely the same with some improvements to the gameplay and presentation, with one of the best aspects being chapters that were semi-open world. So those are the games that I'm covering in this video. I know there's many others out there like the Resident Evil franchise, including a few which RE took influence from. However, I would like to play those games before I talk about them, so expect a part 2 to this video at some point. What games do you feel are similar to Resident Evil? Have you played any of the games I mentioned? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. As we are all in the middle of a pandemic right now, I hope you all stay safe.